This tree crashed on a car. You can still see parts of that car scattered across Colony Road. Tree bark, branches, leaves scattered across 4 entire lanes of traffic out here. This thing is blanketing it. So people say it's been like this ever since one day after Hurricane Florence came in. There have been hundreds of protesters out here in the streets, face to face with these CMPD officers. A few minutes ago, I saw a fence that got blown nearly down right over there. Are you okay with how people are living? The city is inspecting.
He's gonna be stuck right there. You want to go for it again?
Yeah. Sir, we would like to talk to you about what's happening at these apartments. Are you okay with how people are living? You're taking thousands of dollars for people to live in filth. Are you a slumlord? Sir, are you a slumlord? That was not from storm damage. That was from this store being shut down and people trying to take advantage of a situation, coming in here and looting away with as much as they can. I'm going to take my boot off and show you. That's all the water that filled up there in about the last 15 or 20 minutes. This tree lifted up the sidewalk when it crashed down. Sandbags just covering the front door here at Wrightsville Beach, and right here, boards on the windows. You came in from Manhattan. This isn't the perfect time for a vacation, is it?
No, not really.
About a foot of snow was piled on top of this gas station awning, the pressure causing it to collapse. I mean, imagine if you're a parent and waiting for your child to come home from school, seeing the bus arrive, and then as they get off the bus, hearing gunshots ring out. The Reverend Billy Graham meant so much to people here in Charlotte, but really all across the world, as you were mentioning. I spoke to one woman who grew up in Dallas, remembering him preaching at a stadium when she was little. I spoke to another woman who grew up in Puerto Rico. She remembers the time she first heard the Reverend talk. He was saying, be ready. They're trying to clear the scene. Now, I want to let you guys know why they're out here in riot gear. They were telling me that's because a group of these protesters had one of the CMPD cruisers surrounded. They were lighting things on fire in the middle of the streets. They were gathering rocks, bottles. You could really feel everyone's heart beating throughout those moments. He told me, all I know is that my son is lying up there dead on the ground. Crowd erupting right now as Donald Trump is projected by Fox News as the winner of North Carolina. I was just talking a few minutes ago to the DJ who was playing some Beatles music. I asked him, win or lose, what song will you respectively be playing? They don't know it this time, so we'll just have to wait and see. We got a long night ahead of us, guys. Nearly 100 plants are seized, most of them ready to harvest right now. The smell almost knocks you over when you come into this garage. Prisoners with homemade knives rioted for more than 7 hours early Monday morning in what is the country's deadliest prison riot in 25 years. Facebook is dealing with another massive data breach affecting millions of users. David J. Sentendrey, do you know what the J stands for?
Jump shot. That's all I hear.
Smart man.
His jump shot's decent.
But he also made this hat for me. So we're gonna, I don't know how I look, maybe, yay, nay, here we go. Unregulated gambling is illegal in North Carolina, even if it's friends exchanging money for chips. And when alcohol and bars are in the mix, it's a more serious offense. There are stations across Charlotte where you can pick up a free doggy bag. They're usually located right by trash cans, which should make it easy to clean up after your dog, but for some reason, not everyone's doing it. You can see that on the outside, Camp North End is already getting quite the colorful makeover, but here on the inside, there's still a lot of work left to do. There's more than 1 million square feet of space on the property. This all started off as a Ford motor plant around 100 years ago. Now, Camp North End says it plans on preserving all of these buildings. They're not going anywhere. So in a cease and desist letter, you called our reporting unethical, grossly negligent. Why is this attorney walking away from Fox 46 Charlotte? Why is this landlord slamming a door in our face? And why are the police getting involved?
To this day, I'm still ready to just throw my hands up and just walk away, but I can't.
It's all because of Jessica Smith, her child, Lyndon, and toxic mold that's growing inside of their apartment.
It's there. I know it's there.
Smith lives at North Cross Townhomes. It's where, back in November,
that's crazy,
a Fox 46 Charlotte investigation confirmed toxic mold in her apartment.
There's no explanation for it.
Lyndon might be getting sick because of it. He can barely stay out of the hospital with respiratory infections. Doctors asked for any mold found to be removed promptly. Fox 46 Charlotte's investigation sparked a federal investigation by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development.
Why is it y'all are willing to spend so much money to have people living in places that should be condemned.
North Cross failed that inspection with a long list of issues across the complex. They're ordered to make changes or lose nearly $700,000 in government funding. HUD tells Fox 46 Charlotte it has every expectation that North Cross will address and resolve tenants' concerns. Well, guess what? North Cross still hasn't fixed the mold problem. Is it safe to say it's everywhere?
Yeah.
William Page with Page Inspections Plus Inc. tested the apartment again. These black spots in the kitchen, look closely. With the white fuzz clinging to it, he says it's all toxic mold. His tests show very heavy levels.
I really thought it should have been condemned. The first time I went over there, you had water pouring from the ceiling.
And Lyndon has to live in these toxic conditions.
There's little doubt in my mind that these chemicals that he has are coming from the water damage to the house.
Dr. William Shaw is the director of Great Plains Laboratory, which tests humans for mycotoxins produced from mold. They're helping Fox 46 Charlotte get results, even though the results are downright scary. You guys have seen roughly 10,000 patients for this test, and Lyndon's testing is one of the highest you've seen out of all of them?
Yes.
Not only is Lyndon highly positive for 3 different mycotoxins, he's 7 times higher than typical highly positive results. He's literally off the charts. When Fox 46 Charlotte learned mold is once again back at the apartment, we showed up. And the landlord, instead of greeting us, called 911.
He didn't tell you why he was wanting to speak to you?
No, ma'am.
Okay, this is not making sense.
That's not entirely accurate. A few days earlier, we tried to show her test results, and she slammed the door. Well, this brings us to North Cross's attorney, Janelle Lyons. I just wanted to provide to you some of this documentation that we just picked up. Lyons sent Fox 46 Charlotte a cease and desist letter even before our initial story aired. She called Fox 46 Charlotte's investigation, without seeing it, unethical, grossly negligent. So we took the results to her. So this is a spectrum of mold toxicity. Jessica's child, Lyndon, is 7 times higher than a typical positive result. Is this still grossly negligent?
He is the way he is because of that house, and I know it.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxpayer money goes to North Cross, and Smith believes no one living there is safe.
Even if I move out, okay, fine, that's cool. What about the next kids that move in?
Management is spending its time calling the police on Fox 46 Charlotte.
And I respectfully ask.
We're respectfully asking you to take care of the mold problem at this apartment, but you haven't done that.
Again, you will need to speak with legal.
Well, when legal isn't trying to convince us to not run the story, they're driving away from questions. Miss Lyons, we're going to continue reporting and fighting for this family. North Cross recently paid for Smith's family to temporarily stay in a motel. We'll keep you updated on what happens next. Reporting live in studio, David Sentendrey, Fox 46, Charlotte. Meet Jason Smith. The former Stanfield town councilman is holding a handful of cash and appears to be playing poker in a bar. That's illegal. It's at Morgan's Tavern, which is run by his wife. No money's involved whatsoever? No. And that's Smith claiming there's no gambling at the bar. We'll get back to that. Stanfield is a town of 1,400 people where Morgan's Tavern is the only bar.
On average, there's a couple $1,000s a night played through there when they play.
And 2 nights a week?
2 nights a week, sometimes 2 or 3 games a night.
Why is Terry Pennington speaking out? Well, Pennington used to run a bar at this same location, but says he had to sell it after he was busted with illegal video poker machines back in 2014. Pennington, who initially bought the building off Smith, said Smith was eager to buy it back.
The day I sold it to him, he put a poker table in it the next day. I told my wife, I said, it's going to take me 6 months to a year to get in there and play poker with him, but he's going to gamble in that bar, and I'm going to play poker with him, and I'm going to videotape it.
Unregulated gambling is illegal in North Carolina, even if it's friends exchanging money for chips. And when alcohol and bars are in the mix, it's a more serious offense. Pennington believes Smith is allowed to continue since he's connected in town, so he hit record.
Yeah, it wasn't for fun. It was to get evidence of how we was discriminated and forced out of our business so a politician can sit there and run a gambling ring.
Fox 46 Charlotte uncovered at least one other elected official at the poker games. In the blue hat is Oakboro Commissioner Ernest Broadway. And listen here, he's also the chairperson to the Oakboro Police Department. It gets better. The bar they're playing at is located directly next door to the Stanfield Police Department. They share a parking lot.
They all knew what was happening and they let it happen.
Fox 46 Charlotte wanted to check it out for ourselves, so we went knocking during normal business hours. Remember I told you about former councilman Jason Smith? He wouldn't allow us inside, but he didn't know we had an undercover camera already inside. Right there, you see Smith picking up what appears to be a pile of cash off the poker table. Listen to what was said after we showed up.
Yeah, just get off the table. They can't prove nothing as long as they can't sit on the table.
Well, they're looking through the window. He got a camera going on right there.
We were outside the window and we saw the poker table until someone shut the blinds. One player suggested violence against Fox 46 Charlotte.
That's why I put foot in this on Jason.
Well, Jason decided to come outside and ended up putting his foot in his mouth.
I mean, we have had reports that gambling has been going on at the bar. Is that true?
No, that's not true.
Not true?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
Because it is illegal to gamble in bars.
Yeah. We know that.
What would you do if I said we had video evidence that you've been gambling in the bar?
We haven't been doing the gambling at the bar.
It's common practice that you don't gamble in bars.
This undercover ALE agent says charges will be coming.
They know better, and that was obvious by looking at the video.
But what did police know? You know, the department next door.
Have you ever noticed any poker playing over there?
I never have.
Chief Faggart provided Fox 46 Charlotte with records that show his department has helped issue a number of violations to current ownership, including 5 different violations while Smith was sitting on town council. Still, this illegal game was out in the open. They weren't even trying to hide it, and for years, the department never did anything about it.
Should you guys be going over there more?
Well, I mean, you don't want to harass businesses.
Well, all it took was one trip from Fox 46 Charlotte and we're getting results.
I'm thankful that you finally contacted us. At least someone's trying to help us.
We listened and asked questions to those who didn't bet on us having evidence.
We have seen video where money's being exchanged at the poker table in the bar. You're sure that you haven't seen any of that?
No.
We've seen you with money in your hand. Is this personal?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
It is always fascinating to see this backdoor stuff going on. David, you just mentioned charges could be coming?
Yeah, charges coming. Alcohol law enforcement tells me at the very least misdemeanor gambling charges will be coming to Jason Smith, the former council member, and Ernest Broadway, the current commissioner. Others might be charged as well. It's not every day you see a boat riding down a street.
Never ever seen it like this. I've been here for 18 years.
But this is reality for people in Scotts Hill, just outside Wilmington, North Carolina.
It has been pretty chaotic.
Kim Sappho's family has been living without power ever since Hurricane Florence came to town.
It was torrential rain for days.
Without running water, her family has been showering outside.
We couldn't get out of the neighborhood. No one could get in and you couldn't get out.
Flooding has some stuck inside their community.
Water got pretty deep. I'm sure y'all saw that coming in.
Yes, we didn't just see it, we felt it. Fox 46 Charlotte trekked through this flooding to get to their neighborhood. And our eyes were opened to a whole lot more.
Day by day. Just do what you can.
David Meyer says this tree nearly took out his home, a home he lives in with his soon-to-be 98-year-old father.
He's lived here all his life.
A father who's seen a lot.
Captain Hurricane.
But maybe nothing quite like this.
Couldn't go anywhere.
Neighbors understand this is a small but important picture of what Florence is leaving behind.
Hope and pray the water goes down.
There's plenty to clean up. And if this sinkhole is any indication, there's plenty to rebuild. As for the water, it's still here.
Looks like somebody's got a John boat they've been running in and out.
Forcing some to find a different way to get around.
My heart is so heavy for all the people that are living on the rivers